is Yoseph, and he's also an incubator here in Orbit Innovation Hub. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great, thank you for coming as well. So to start the conversation, let's talk about your startup name Adey. So Addis Ababa is known to be a symbol of hope throughout the country in Ethiopia because when it blooms, it brings the new year, and it's a very good symbol for hope. So is there any connotation with your startup in Adey?
Yeah, so as we all know, it's a significant flower in Ethiopia, and it signifies a new beginning and a new hope.
Yeah.
And that's particularly the reason that we chose it, so that it represents a new beginning for the hotel sector. And nowadays, we see it in government that they're focusing on that flower and what it signifies for Ethiopia. And it's a good name for our company, I guess.
Great, thank you for that. So let's talk about your startup. What does Adey Room do, and what sector is it in?
Adey Rooms is a digital platform that focuses on providing a hotel booking platform for local lodgers and local hotels, which we've seen to have a very huge gap because most booking platforms that we have here in Ethiopia are from foreign countries, or they're foreign companies, and they don't provide holistic services such as payment methods. So anyone from Ethiopia who wishes to travel within the country could access the likes of Airbnb and Booking.com, but they wouldn't complete their booking because they need a payment system and all sorts of information that local companies would provide, and that's the gap that we are looking to fill.
Yeah. So you mentioned Airbnb and Booking.com, and there has been a lot of progress in the hotel booking platform, especially in the West. So what is Adey Room bringing to the Ethiopian context, and what makes it unique, do you say?
I think it's not just being an Ethiopian company that we're promising to solve everything, but we have a very good understanding of the local scenarios and the local situations here in Ethiopia, and where people travel and for what reason they travel. That is something that the foreign companies, the likes of Booking.com, Trivago, and Airbnb doesn't have insight into how people travel and where they travel for what reason. And that, I think, gives us an edge to provide quality service for our customers. On top of that, we have here in Ethiopia a huge number of affordable and cheap rooms that are not listed on these international booking platforms, and that makes it difficult for a price-conscious traveler or a hotel lodger to book through those platforms, and it generally increases the price of hotels in Ethiopia, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying basically to make it affordable for Ethiopians to travel within the country.
Great. So your startup is very price conscious, as well as you look into why the individual is traveling for what purpose. That is great. So just moving on from the startup, let's talk about your journey as an entrepreneur. So a lot of people have an idea, perhaps me or different colleagues of mine might have an idea, but how does another person move from an idea phase to implementing the idea? What was your aha moment to say, okay, this is what I need to do to improve my idea and just work on my idea?
I think it started when I joined university a while back, and that I noticed that I didn't really want to study something that would fix me to a certain profession. And then I spent quite a while in university. I studied 4 years for my bachelor's, and then I did 2 masters, but all through those times I was focusing on how to be self-employed, because most of my family works in their own businesses, in small businesses. So that started me. That pushed me to start to research into looking into what I can do, not just for myself, but also to contribute to the society and create opportunities for others as well. And I was lucky to have my co-founders around me who are friends of mine, and we started noticing that there is a problem in the hotel sector in Ethiopia, and then it came the aha moment or the insight moment came for us when we personally faced those problems that we see in the hotel sector, and we said if we are like experiencing this problem in this sector and we know what we can do and we are young and we can transform it into a digital platform, then we can achieve something. And then that's how the journey of Adey started, I guess.
Great, thank you for that. I hope the audience learned something from it as well. So, as I mentioned, you're an incubator here in Orbit Innovation Hub. So, let's talk about your journey as an entrepreneur also in Orbit Innovation Hub. How has the incubation program contributed to your journey so far? What did you learn? What were the challenges, would you say?
Yeah, I think Orbit Innovation Hub helped us very, very much. And it started when we saw like a flyer for this application, and then we didn't think much of it at the time, and then we applied and then we got in. But after we joined, we saw that most of the things that we were doing were not structured before we joined Orbit. We were just wondering with our like individual qualities. One of my co-founders, Biniam, is good in finances. He was trying to do research some things. But then when we joined Orbit program, the Orbit program, and then we saw that there is actually a right way to do financials and other strategies for startups, we kind of started to have a structure. And I think that's what most startups lack if they don't have guidance and programs like the acceleration program here. And that helped us to have a very clear picture and vision for the company and how we would achieve the things that we planned, and then how to also track our successes and also see where we're lacking in performance. So I think the program overall has a huge significance for startups, and I would recommend the program for any startup actually to just join and see what it can contribute, and the trainings and the incubation program overall that Orbit provides has a value beyond money. It's at this point, it's not about acquiring the seed fund or the seed money. It's more about having the connections here in the working space and also the overall energy, I guess, here.
Yes. So something I consistently heard you saying was structuring, because a lot of entrepreneurs may lack in that area because most entrepreneurs are new to being self-employed. So thank you for sharing that. Now let's talk about Adey Rooms again. Where do you see Adey Rooms in 5 years? What is the vision that you have, and how it would contribute to the Ethiopian in your sector, the Ethiopian market in your sector?
In 5 years, I see Adey Rooms being the go-to platform for hotel booking and travel experiences. Not just that, I see it from the point of view of creating jobs for a lot of people, and also making travel easy in Ethiopia. It's not easy. Just if you decide to go to, I don't know, maybe Bahar Dar or Redoa right now, you'd have to know someone there, or you would have to have a history of traveling to Bahar Dar and know a certain place that you could go where you know you can afford the price. But we would want to make it easier for people to remotely check their price, the accommodation, and the amenities of the place they want to stay in, and then make a conscious decision. By doing that, I see that Adey in 5 years will make travel in Ethiopia easy, affordable, and convenient for everyone.
Great. So, what do you think are the three necessary things that a startup needs? You are a startup yourself, so what are the three necessary assets or resources that a startup must have when they're just starting?
Okay. Um, I think the first thing that, for me, the first thing that they should have is, um, I think the founders or anyone involved in the team should be humble and
Mm-hmm.
should understand that they don't know everything,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever they know and they've been doing independently is maybe less than 1% of
Mm-hmm.
the work that's required from them. And with that attitude, I guess it comes. With that attitude, I guess when you're humble that you don't know anything or everything, um, you would open up opportunities for learning,
Mm-hmm.
and with everyone that you meet onwards from then, you would start to see that every people, and even if it's not like experts and professionals that you meet, could contribute to your business and give you very valuable insights. So the first thing that I see to be very important in the startup world is being humble and having the right attitude. The second is structure, and structure, as I said, could be attained in so many different ways. I mean, you could go into YouTube and research it on your own. There are so many valuable resources on YouTube how to restructure your startup based on your business model, and whether it's a SaaS business or subscription or commission based marketplace like us.
Mm-hmm.
You could learn a lot, but also I think programs like this, the one that we got at Orbit, is very important, and make networks. Also, making networks is also very important. And the third one I'd say is funding. Funding is very important, and not just the money, but also the awareness and the knowledge where you can get the money and how you get it, and what sorts of investors that you should seek, whether it's someone with a deep pocket or someone who could actually contribute to your sector. So the three things: having the right attitude or being humble, having a structure or getting into an accelerator and incubation program like this, and also seeking funding.
Great. What a great advice for our audiences as well. So just to close off this interview, let's make it light and fun. So tell me a story in general, but I would prefer if it was about your entrepreneurial journey that you say that this audience must hear of it, so that it could be as an advice or a learning opportunity for our audiences. So if you have a story that you really want to share with us, that would be good.
Um, when we first started to research like the hotel sector and understand the gaps in the hotel sector, we didn't just start one day with a vague idea. We had an experience. You could say, I guess, a bad experience where we went to a concert in the Bazet and we couldn't get a hotel room. So I think that gave us an insight. It was a very good concert, but then it got ruined because we couldn't find the person that booked the hotel room for us. And that's where the insight came from. So if you take that bad experience that you have in life and then just complain, you'll never do something worth anything in life. But then if you have the right attitude, and after a brief moment of complaining, if you see that that complaint has an opportunity with it, everything has an opportunity with it. It's just learning how to monetize it, learning how to actually do it right, and strategize, and also learn and see the fact that you can change that circumstance, and when you change it, it should be for the better, and then when you do that, you create a value. So that's the value that you sell for your customers. So that's my experience, and the experience of my co-founders that pushed us into focusing in this sector. And now few months later, like a year later, we're like having a company.
Yeah, great. So I like something that you said about every bad experience is an opportunity to solve a problem. Thank you for that. Thank you so much, Yosef, for coming and doing this interview with me. I learned a lot personally, and I'm sure our audiences also did learn a lot.